The Forbidden Five. There are places on this planet that call to the human spirit with promises of beauty, mystery, and adventure. Yet some of these destinations come with warnings carved in blood, shadow, and history itself. These are not the kinds of places where travelers return with postcards and souvenirs. They are the kind where those who enter are swallowed whole by danger, secrecy, or the weight of things that humanity was never meant to touch. Today, we begin a journey into the most forbidden corners of Earth, starting with 5 terrifyingly dangerous locations where tourists are strongly warned, never visit. 1. North Sentinel Island, the Island of Death. In the Bay of Bengal, surrounded by crystal waters and golden sands, lies a place that looks like paradise. But paradise has a darker face. North Sentinel Island is home to the Sentinelese tribe, one of the last uncontacted peoples on Earth. They have lived in complete isolation for tens of thousands of years, untouched by modern civilization. To them, outsiders represent danger, disease, and corruption. And so, they defend their home with ferocity. Anyone who dares to approach is met with a hail of arrows. Fishermen who accidentally drift too close have been killed on sight. Even well-meaning missionaries attempting to establish contact have paid with their lives. The Indian government has outlawed all travel to the island, not only to protect outsiders, but to shield the tribe from exposure to illnesses their immune systems cannot withstand. North Sentinel Island is not simply a forbidden place. It is an eternal reminder that some cultures are not meant to be disturbed no matter how tempting the mystery. 2. Chernobyl. Exclusion Zone, the Silent Wasteland. In 1986, the world witnessed one of the most catastrophic nuclear disasters in history, the explosion of reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. In an instant, an entire city, Pripyat, was abandoned, frozen in time like a ghost captured in mid-breath. Ferris wheels never spun again. Classrooms remain cluttered with toys, and homes are filled with photographs of families who fled in terror. The Chernobyl exclusion zone remains one of the most contaminated places on Earth. Radiation lingers in the soil, in the trees, in the very bones of the Earth itself. Tourists are allowed into limited areas under strict supervision, but large swaths of the zone remain forbidden. To wander too far is to risk exposure to invisible death. Wild animals now roam where humans once lived, reclaiming what was lost. Chernobyl stands as both a warning and a tomb, a place where humanity's hubris collided with nature's wrath. 3. Snake Island, Ilha da Queimada Grande, Brazil. Just off the coast of Brazil lies an island that even hardened adventurers refuse to set foot on. Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, is home to thousands of venomous golden lancehead vipers. Their venom is so powerful it can melt human flesh within moments. Estimates suggest there may be 1 snake for every square meter of land, making the island the deadliest serpent-infested place on Earth. Legends claim that fishermen who drifted too close were found later in their boats, lifeless, their bodies swollen with venom. Brazilian authorities have banned all visits to Snake Island, except for scientific research under military supervision. The island is so lethal that it is considered one of the most dangerous natural habitats known to mankind, a place where even the bravest travelers know they must never go. 4. The Catacombs of Paris. The underground maze of bones. Beneath the romantic streets of Paris lies a labyrinth of death. The Paris catacombs stretch for hundreds of miles, housing the remains of over 6 million souls. Skulls are stacked neatly in haunting patterns, bones line the walls like grim decorations, and the air is heavy with the silence of centuries. While a portion of the catacombs is open to tourists, the vast majority remains forbidden, sealed off by the government. Yet urban explorers and thrill-seekers often sneak inside. Some never return. The tunnels twist endlessly, and those who wander too far risk getting lost forever in the dark. Chilling stories circulate of cameras found years later with final, desperate footage of explorers' last moments. The catacombs remind us that the past is never far beneath our feet, and sometimes it is better left buried. 5. Mount Kailash, the sacred mountain no one can climb. In the remote heights of Tibet rises a mountain unlike any other. Mount Kailash, revered by Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and followers of the ancient Bon religion. It is said to be the axis of the world, the center of the universe itself, where heaven meets earth. Myths declare that climbing the mountain is forbidden because it is the sacred home of gods. No expedition has ever reached its summit. Not because it is unclimbable, though its harsh weather makes it difficult, but because climbing is considered an act of blasphemy. Tibetan authorities and religious leaders forbid all attempts, ensuring the peak remains untouched for eternity. Pilgrims instead circle the base of the mountain in a ritual journey said to cleanse their sins. Mount Kailash is a place where faith outweighs ambition, where reverence restrains humanity's endless hunger to conquer. These first 5 destinations reveal a chilling truth. Beauty and danger often live side by side. North Sentinel Island looks like paradise but hides a hostile welcome. Chernobyl's silence whispers of catastrophe. Snake Island embodies nature's most venomous fury. The catacombs remind us of death's permanence. And Mount Kailash proves that not all mountains are meant to be climbed. We have only begun this journey. In the next part, we will uncover more forbidden places, some shrouded in political secrecy, others haunted by curses, and still others simply too perilous for the human spirit to endure. Shadows of secrecy and danger. The first 5 forbidden places showed us how nature, faith, and tragedy can turn entire landscapes into zones of mystery and danger. But not every warning comes from natural hazards or sacred traditions. Some of the most forbidden places on Earth are wrapped in secrecy, political tension, or invisible threats that outsiders cannot comprehend. What follows are 5 more destinations where stepping across the boundary line could cost you far more than you are willing to pay. 6. Area 51. The Desert of Secrets. Deep in the Nevada desert lies one of the most infamous restricted zones in the world. Area 51. Officially, it is a United States Air Force facility used for testing advanced military aircraft. Unofficially, it has become the centerpiece of conspiracy theories about extraterrestrials, crashed UFOs, and alien technology hidden away from the public. Tourists are strictly forbidden from entering the perimeter. Warning signs and armed guards patrol the desert, and anyone who dares cross the invisible boundary risks arrest, or worse. The secrecy has fueled speculation for decades. Did a UFO crash at Roswell? Are alien bodies stored in hangars beneath the sand? The truth may never be known, because Area 51 is a place tourists will never explore. Its silence only deepens the mystery, making it one of Earth's most forbidden locations. 7. The Lascaux Caves. Ancient art in fragile silence. In France, hidden deep underground, lie the Lascaux Caves, one of the world's most stunning records of prehistoric art. Painted over 17,000 years ago, the walls are alive with images of bulls, horses, and other animals that once roamed Ice Age Europe. These paintings are priceless windows into the minds of our ancestors. Yet tourists are no longer allowed inside. In the 20th century, so many visitors entered the caves that the delicate artwork began to deteriorate. Mold and bacteria spread, threatening to erase these prehistoric masterpieces forever. Today, only scientists are allowed entry under extreme restrictions. Tourists can only visit replicas built nearby. The real caves remain sealed, too fragile to withstand the presence of humanity. The Lascaux Caves are a reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures must remain hidden, preserved in silence for future generations. 8. The island of Poveglia, Italy's haunted exile. Nestled in the Venetian lagoon is an island so cursed that locals whisper its name with fear, Poveglia. In the 14th century, it became a quarantine station for plague victims. Tens of thousands of the sick and dying were brought here, their bodies burned in massive pits. Centuries later, the island was used as a mental asylum, where unspeakable treatments and experiments reportedly took place. Today, Poveglia is abandoned, its crumbling buildings left to rot. Tourists are banned from visiting due to safety concerns, but rumors persist of dark shadows, ghostly screams, and restless spirits that haunt the land. Some say the soil itself is mixed with human ash from the countless plague victims cremated there. Forbidden and cursed, Poveglia stands as one of the most terrifying places in Europe, a destination no tourist should ever set foot on. 9. Room 39, The secret heart of North Korea. In the mysterious and tightly controlled nation of North Korea lies Room 39, a secretive office said to handle the regime's most classified financial dealings. Reports claim it is involved in everything from foreign currency operations and arms trading to more sinister activities. Located inside a government building in Pyongyang, Room 39 is one of the most impenetrable places on Earth. Tourists visiting North Korea are already heavily monitored, their every move controlled by government guides. But Room 39 is a level of secrecy far beyond the reach of any outsider. Very little is known about what truly happens inside, and the regime ensures it remains that way. For travelers, it represents not only a forbidden location, but also the dangers of venturing into a world where secrecy rules everything, and truth is a luxury no one can afford. 10. The Tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the Emperor's Sealed Secret. In Xi'an, China, the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, lies buried beneath a massive mound. Discovered in 1974 with the famous terracotta army standing guard, the tomb has captivated the imagination of historians and adventurers alike. Ancient texts describe rivers of mercury flowing inside, designed to protect the emperor's eternal rest. Despite the temptation, the Chinese government has forbidden entry into the tomb itself. The fear is that current excavation technology cannot preserve what might be found inside. Disturbing the tomb could irreparably damage priceless relics, or worse, expose toxic levels of mercury sealed underground for over 2,000 years. As a result, the tomb remains untouched, its secrets locked away beneath the earth. Tourists can marvel at the soldiers who guard it, but the emperor himself lies in a chamber no one is allowed to enter. From the deserts of Nevada to the haunted islands of Italy, from sealed caves in France to the forbidden tomb of a Chinese emperor, these 5 destinations are cloaked in mystery and danger. They remind us that some places are forbidden not because they are impossible to reach, but because humanity chooses, whether out of fear, respect, or survival, to keep them sealed. And yet, we are only halfway through our journey. In the next part, we will step into even more terrifying forbidden territories, islands ruled by danger, temples cursed by faith, and regions so toxic or treacherous that they remain off-limits for eternity. Curses, dangers, and natural terrors. We have journeyed through islands guarded by hostile tribes, deserts filled with secrets, and tombs sealed with mysteries. Yet the world holds even more terrifying places, forbidden not only by governments or fragile histories, but also by nature itself. These next 5 destinations are where curses whisper through sacred halls, where danger thrives in the air and sea, and where human survival itself is put to the test. 11. The Vatican Secret Archives, knowledge locked away. Hidden within the Vatican City lies one of the most mysterious collections of documents in the world, the Vatican Secret Archives. Despite its name, it is not entirely secret, but the majority of its contents remain strictly off-limits to ordinary people. These archives are said to contain centuries of correspondence between popes and rulers, records of trials, excommunications, and documents that could change the way history is understood. Tourists are not allowed inside. Only approved scholars may request access to limited materials, and even then, under heavy restrictions. Speculation runs rampant about what lies in the sealed vaults, evidence of hidden gospels, forbidden texts, or knowledge of humanity's most dangerous secrets. The archives represent a forbidden destination, where truth itself is kept behind locked doors, ensuring that millions will never know what lies inside. 12. Ilha da Queimada Pequena, Brazil's other deadly island. While most people have heard of Brazil's Snake Island, few realize there is another forbidden island lurking in the South Atlantic, Ilha da Queimada Pequena. Smaller and lesser known, this island is equally dangerous due to its treacherous waters, jagged rocks, and swarming population of venomous creatures. Unlike its infamous twin, this island is not patrolled by golden lancehead vipers, but is still considered too dangerous for human settlement or tourism. Brazilian authorities prohibit visits not only to protect people, but also to preserve the fragile ecosystem that thrives in isolation. It is a reminder that forbidden places are not always guarded by myths or mysteries. Sometimes, they are simply nature's warning signs written across the landscape. 13. The Doomsday Vault, Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Norway. In the icy wilderness of Norway, buried deep within a mountain, lies the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Nicknamed the Doomsday Vault, it is designed to safeguard the world's crops from natural disasters, wars, or global catastrophes. Millions of seeds are stored in frozen chambers, ensuring that humanity could one day replant and rebuild after a disaster. Tourists cannot enter. The vault is restricted to scientists and caretakers, and even then, entry is limited to preserve its integrity. While it may not seem terrifying at first glance, the vault embodies a chilling truth. Its very existence acknowledges that humanity as future could collapse at any moment. It is forbidden not because it is dangerous to us, but because it may be the last hope of our survival. 14. The Island of Dolls, Xochimilco, Mexico. South of Mexico City lies one of the most unsettling tourist attractions in the world, La Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of Dolls. Trees and buildings are draped with hundreds of decaying, weather-worn dolls, some missing eyes, others with limbs torn away. The story began with a man named Don Julian Santana, who discovered the body of a drowned girl in the canal. To appease her spirit, he began hanging dolls across the island. Over the years, the dolls multiplied, and the island became a macabre shrine. Although tourists do sometimes visit under supervision, it is strongly warned against. The island is not only eerie, but its waters are dangerous, and legends claim the dolls themselves are cursed. Visitors speak of whispering voices, dolls turning their heads, and eyes that seem to follow intruders. It is a destination where reality and nightmare intertwine, a place tourists are warned to avoid for both safety and sanity. 15. Lake Nyos, the lake that kills. In Cameroon lies a deceptively peaceful body of water, Lake Nyos. Surrounded by lush hills, it looks like the perfect place for a quiet escape. But beneath its surface lies a deadly secret. Lake Nyos sits atop a pocket of volcanic magma, which releases carbon dioxide into the water. In 1986, a sudden release of gas erupted from the lake, creating a deadly cloud that silently swept through nearby villages. Over 1,700 people and thousands of animals died in their sleep, never knowing what struck them. Scientists have since installed equipment to reduce the buildup of gas, but the lake remains a dangerous and unstable environment. Tourists are strongly advised never to visit, for nature has already proven the devastating power it hides beneath those calm blue waters. In this part, we saw how the world can terrify in many different ways. The Vatican's secret archives hide knowledge that could reshape history. Remote islands remind us of nature's deadly guardians. The Doomsday Vault is a silent warning of our fragile future. The Island of Dolls blurs the line between legend and nightmare, and Lake Nyos shows how an unseen force can wipe out life in an instant. As haunting as these places are, the final chapter of our journey will take us into the most extreme forbidden zones of all, where toxic landscapes, lost ruins, and cursed lands stand as permanent warnings to humanity. Earth's final warnings. We have crossed through archives of forbidden knowledge, cursed islands, and deadly lakes. Now, we reach the final chapter of our journey. 5 of the most extreme, chilling, and absolutely forbidden destinations on Earth. These are places where nature, history, and human secrets converge, creating lands that tourists are not just discouraged, but outright warned never to set foot upon. 16. Chernobyl's reactor. Number 4. The ghost of nuclear disaster. In 1986, the world's worst nuclear disaster struck at Chernobyl, in present-day Ukraine. Reactor number 4 exploded during a late-night safety test gone horribly wrong, releasing radioactive material across Europe. The city of Pripyat was evacuated, leaving behind an eerie ghost town frozen in time. While limited tours are permitted in the outer exclusion zone, reactor number 4 itself remains sealed and deadly. Radiation lingers inside, making entry impossible without protective equipment and clearance. Even decades later, the plant symbolizes human error and the price of technological hubris. For tourists, Chernobyl is not just a forbidden destination. It is a reminder of how one mistake can haunt the Earth for centuries. 17. The catacombs of Paris, miles of hidden darkness. Beneath the bustling streets of Paris lies a chilling labyrinth, the Paris catacombs. Stretching for miles, These underground tunnels house the skeletal remains of more than 6 million people. Skulls and bones are arranged into eerie patterns, forming walls of the dead. While part of the catacombs is open to tourists, the majority remains strictly off-limits. The restricted sections are vast, uncharted, and incredibly dangerous. Adventurers who have snuck in report getting lost, encountering strange symbols, and even hearing whispers in the dark. Some have vanished entirely. Authorities warn that wandering into these hidden tunnels is essentially walking into a graveyard where the living are not welcome. 18. Poveglia Island. Italy's haunted asylum. In the Venetian lagoon lies Poveglia Island, a place so haunted by its past that locals refuse to set foot there. During the Black Death, it was used as a quarantine zone where thousands of plague victims were dumped and burned. Later, in the early 20th century, the island became home to a psychiatric hospital. Rumors spread of cruel experiments and patients tormented by the ghosts of plague victims. The asylum eventually shut down, but the legends remained. Today, Poveglia is closed to tourists, officially for safety reasons, though many believe the government wishes to keep its sinister reputation buried. It is often described as one of the most haunted places on Earth, a cursed island where the cries of the past still echo across the ruins. 19. North Sentinel Island, the last uncontacted tribe. Off the coast of India's Andaman Islands lies North Sentinel Island, home to the Sentinelese people, one of the last uncontacted tribes in the world. They have lived in isolation for tens of thousands of years, rejecting all outside contact. Attempts to approach the island have been met with arrows and hostility, as the Sentinelese fiercely protect their land and way of life. The Indian government has made it illegal to visit or even approach the island, both to protect the tribe from modern diseases and to preserve their culture. For tourists, it is not only forbidden but also fatal to attempt. North Sentinel Island stands as a reminder that some corners of the earth are not ours to claim, and some secrets are meant to remain untouched. 20. The Zone of Alienation. Pripyat's silent twin in Belarus. Most people know about Chernobyl in Ukraine, but fewer realize that the Zone of Alienation extends into Belarus as well. This vast restricted area is filled with abandoned villages, radioactive forests, and mutated wildlife. The Belarusian side of the exclusion zone is even less accessible than its Ukrainian counterpart. Tourists are strictly prohibited from entering without government clearance. Radiation hotspots still exist, and the environment remains unstable. Those who have illegally entered describe entire villages frozen in time, with children's toys scattered on the ground and personal belongings left behind in haste. It is a haunting place, one where human presence has vanished, but nature continues to reclaim what was lost. Earth's forbidden warnings. And so we have reached the end of our journey through the world's most forbidden places. From islands guarded by hostile tribes to ruins swallowed by time, from archives of hidden truths to lakes that kill silently, these destinations remind us of a powerful truth. Not every corner of Earth is meant for human exploration. Some places are too dangerous, some are too sacred, some are locked away for the sake of history, culture, or survival itself. These 20 destinations serve as both warnings and wonders, teaching us that the world is vast, mysterious, and filled with secrets we may never uncover. For the curious and the daring, these places spark imagination, but for the cautious traveler, they remind us that sometimes the greatest adventure is knowing when not to go.